Hello. Greetings. Greetings from the Oracle of Whimsy, and my trusted compadre, Mila, and Shylock, her arch enemy, who you can't currently see, but I assure you is very much real. Yes, Shylock, the crow, the magical escape artist, is at it again. So close, and yet so far. The day will never come. It will never come when Mila catches Shylock. She is like that Charlie Brown character with the football. Over and over again, trying. And yet forever failing. It's a sad existence. It's one of the lost manuscripts from Kafka. Short story. How's everybody doing? So, Shylock giving you trouble? Never going to happen, baby. Never going to happen, but we love you anyway. So, how is everyone? Let's check on you. Excuse me, the cough is theoretically under control until I sat down, right? A lot of good questions I've received that I want to make sure to get to today. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, that would go a long way to help the channel. For those of you who don't know, I am Whimsy. My alter ego, the Oracle of Whimsy, plays on Sundays while the good doctor sleeps. Please don't hold any of this against her. So on Sundays, we have brunch together, or lunch, or cocktails, or whatever you want it to be, depending on your time zone. And we talk about whatever's on your mind. A lot of the time people want to talk politics, but of course we can talk about other things as well. Boy, I had a spiritual remote for you, and I thought, wow, this message from Spirit is really important. I'm going to make sure to discuss it on Sunday. And then what is one of the first rules you never break in HCRV? I hope this doesn't make me cough. Ice. L'chaim, everyone. You got to write it down or record it. Sometimes if I'm too exhausted, if I do a remote, I will grab the phone and I will record and then just put it up and document it, because, I'm an anthropologist and I am trained in, data collection. So I do like to have some documentation, and then we can go back and review it afterwards. I wanted to announce our book selection again. And for some bizarre reason, I was looking at our book earlier. The book this month, we have a book club, is The Last Thing Claire Wanted, I believe is the name of it. I have to go get our book selection while people are coming and gathering. If you could like and subscribe, we spend about 10, 15 minutes chit-chatting, and then we'll do the remote views and everything else. My apologies. I seem to have displaced our book selection this month. Thank you, though. The Last Thing Claire Wanted, it's very, very good. It's a murder mystery with a lead detective. It takes place in Napa Valley. I think it could be a TV show if enough people watch it and give it enough buzz because it's very, very good. And the police detective. She breaks up with her marriage ends. She has an incident at the FBI where she has to leave it, and instead she gets into estate sales. The main character. So she has to break down this estate and she finds a stolen watch. And then she finds this elderly woman whose son was murdered, but it's an unsolved case. And so she decides to take on the case of this murdered child. And it gets to be really complicated because there are a lot of suspects. Like it could be another child, it could be, there's also a mobile park that allows sex offenders to live there. So, that's the first place you would look. Anyways, and then you want to figure out, well, why did this person have this stolen watch? I already have a theory, but I don't want to give my theories away if you haven't, like if you're not far enough into the book. But I have my theories about who I think, what I think was going on. But anyway, so that's this month's book selection. Next month's book selection, I'm also really excited about. I love these book selections so far because they have empowered women. I always like empowered women doing magical things. Those are my favorite stories. Science fiction or fantasy fiction, surrealism with strong characters. I love Spanish, Latin surrealism, but often, like The Alchemist was great, but the female characters were window dressing in The Alchemist. It's actually through the lens of a woman reading a book like The Alchemist. It's women are just there to support the men going off and doing whatever they want, and our job is to bake bread. It's not a very interesting book if you want to see strong female leads. So that's where books like dun, 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 next month's selection is coming in. Isabel, Starry Night, similar to The Alchemist, kind of a theme about an awakening young woman goes, I believe it's a road trip. She has a series of adventures. It's written by Wanda Webster and Richard M. Isabel Hotchkiss has reached a milestone in her life. She is now 21 years old and officially an adult. So yeah, she gets a delusion and she goes on a journey. So that is next month's selection. At the end of the month, we talk about the selection. So I guess at the end of next week's Sunday brunch, after the show is finished, those of you who are part of the book club, or those of you who are not, if you want to hang out and talk about why we selected the book, there are always people who are members of this community. If you're subscribed, that's all it takes. Send me your book, and maybe we will select it for our monthly book reading as well. So today, it's so sad. So today, I had a green smoothie. Let me tell you about my excuse me, my green smoothie. The greens came up in my garden. Not only that, but the beets from last year, like I gave up on all these roots. I planted them and forgot about them, and all these greens started coming up. And I thought, well, it's Swiss chard. It's other things. I excuse me, I ID'd it, and it came back that it was the beets. So it's really cool. I cut off the beet greens. Clan of the Cave Bear is not. We're reading books to promote members of this community, the books that other people have, not big book, famous books. These are books that our own community. These are people that are us. We want to help support their work, particularly if it's good work. I'm sorry, I forgot what I was talking about. Does anybody remember? I don't know. Yeah, anyway, so I blended it up in a smoothie. I made a smoothie, and I used some of the greens from my own garden. 6 by 4 feet. Can you believe that? 6 by 4 feet. And I got food growing, and I'm recycling food. Y'all heard about this? Who here knows about food recycling? Yeah, the beet greens went in my smoothie today. Hello, it was great. It was delicious. Y'all know about recycling food, right? Crazy. So you make a berry smoothie. You pour some water in when you're going to rinse the bowl. You pour that into the garden. The tops of your strawberries, cut a little bit off so there's a few seeds, soak it in some water. The seeds will fall, eventually decompose after a couple of days and fall into the water. You take that water, throw it into an area where you want strawberries. It can be a closed bin, and then just bury it with some more dirt and add water. Over time, you're going to start getting strawberries coming up. It's as simple as that. So you just throw your strawberries parts, soak them in water first to dislodge the seeds. And what happens is these little black things start on the bottom. After about 2 or 3 days, you can just leave it outside, and it's part of a natural decomposition. And then I just throw them in a bin that's going to be designated for strawberries, and then pour dirt over that, a little bit of dirt over that, and then water. By next year, you should have strawberries. Avocado seeds. I've got a few avocados growing. Mangoes. You crack the mango seed open. You put it in a towel, sealed, a wet towel, and then you replant. I've got a mango tree that's about 3 years old now. 2 almonds. I'm growing 2 almond trees from almonds, just store-bought almonds. Again, you soak them, they sprout, you plant them. And a pineapple from a pineapple top. Yeah, isn't that cool? Okay, we're ready to get started. Be sure and share, like, subscribe. I'm going to go turn the camera around. Tell me who you are, where you're coming from, what you're eating, what you're drinking. And then we're going to do some we're going to do some remote viewings. Excuse me, it's Sunday. Hi, Cheryl. Great to see you here. Cheryl Callahan, see Amira. Hello. Great to see you here. Hi, Lynn Webley. Carol Lynn Rossell, thank you for being a member. And Dylan, thank you so much. Gigi Pardo Lord, hello. K Travel Tarot. Carol Lynn Rossell, hello. Special announcement that the World Wildlife Fund is our charity today. We will be playing for them. If you find today even remotely entertaining, we would really be grateful if you could throw a couple bucks their way. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. And we would appreciate saving our endangered species. Thank you, Debbie Brady, for your help today. And thank you as well, Joel Tilson. Great to see you here. Mary Hobbs, hello. And thank you. K Travel, get those piano fingers ready. I'm coming over for lunch today. Text me if you need anything before I leave. Sue Malik, hi. Amy Dietz, hello. Anybody drinking any hard liquor? I'm just kidding. I'm having what am I having? I'm having Cafe d'Art that 1111 sent me. It's really delicious. I'm trying not to drink too much coffee, and just a glass of ice water and the smoothie I told you guys about. Hi, Cindy Keel Johnson. Good to see you. Oh, Grand Marnier and coffee, Gamma Ray. Delicious. That is delicious. Good for you. Grand Marniers are delicious. That's a lovely liqueur. Hi, Dawn. Great to see you here. Greens powder this morning before work. Awesome. Dem Fatal has donated $20 to our charity, the World Wildlife Foundation. Thank you so much. Oh, Linda Casey in Holland. Wonderful. All right. So one of the first things we're going to be talking about, 2 things people are concerned about are the debt ceiling and the fact that the Wagner Group is claiming that they took Bakhmut, the gang that can't shoot straight. So the first I want to talk about is the debt ceiling. Who here is concerned about the debt ceiling? I think for sure, of all of the things that people have been seeing me about, the messaging remote viewers and psychics about is this concern about the debt ceiling because a lot of people remember what happened last time, and so it's a very, very scary feeling. The energy is that this appears to be resolved within the next 2 to 3 days, and I don't know what that means. I do feel like it could be because McCarthy's power is not sustainable. But I would go ahead and put a note in it. They're saying 2.5, it could be an evening deal. I know that there's some evidence that Biden is pulling back on his promises to students, which is a bit disturbing, but I'm seeing some kind of resolution happen with that within the next 2.5 days. Thanks, Holly, for this question. Holly wants to know about the remotes regarding Trump and the valet, if I'd done anything on that. As you know, his valet has been subpoenaed, was given quite a bit of power, actually, and Weisselberg committed perjury. Weisselberg committed perjury? If I don't know if you've all kept up with some of the stuff that's going on with Fani Willis, and we can certainly blitz on that later, Holly. But she's already announced that the indictments are coming on between August, what was it, the 13th and 17th and 18th, or something like that. I've always felt when I went into the remotes that she was ready to go, except for like the legal. She has to coordinate with the feds, right? And so she's actually ready before that, but because they're concerned about, I don't think there's going to be as much protest as people think. He's not as popular anymore as people think, but um, the only reason that Trump would be trying to run for president right now, it seems to be because, if you look at it energetically, is he needs money, So that's, um, I just feel like, you go back to the remotes from before, Holly, and it's the Trump organization is no more. It doesn't exist anymore. The corruption doesn't exist anymore. And if you look at the history of somebody like Robert Mueller, who had a history of going after the Russian mob, these were long investigations that went on 10, 20 years, putting a camera in the middle of the desert where he knew there was a Russian money drop and keeping the camera there for 5, 10, 15 years until the person comes and picks the money up. That's Robert Mueller. So this was a long investigation involving the Russian mob. What's interesting in the remotes lately is that it seems to be the Russian mob, the FBI field office, and it's almost like Giuliani acting as emissary between these two things. And if that's how these people turn and wind up with, compromises where they're taking $250,000 to hand over private information about federal investigations, etc., that seems to be the broader investigation. So in terms of like the minutia, like this valet being subpoenaed or this person being charged, I think the overall trajectory is, I can't imagine. I always see Trump, it ending the same way for Trump, living in a back room in Eric's home where his wife and him feel sorry for some old grandpa who's semi-senile and used to be somebody. And that's, I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of what it looks like. Will Biden use the 14th Amendment to not have any cuts? Biden will use executive order if he has to. Yes, that's why I'm not worried. But I feel energetically that it changes in about 2.5 days, if that gives you some relief. We can pull on more indictments for Trump, but it just feels like there's so much choreographing. I was reading today that one of the Russian oligarchs, he abandoned his ship, but the bank is still charging him. So he has to pay $100,000 a month on this boat he abandoned when the feds went in. And the people who work on the boat, since the feds have taken over, they're swimming in the private pool. I guess, I don't know if they can't leave. They don't have anywhere to go, but they're swimming in the private pool. They're drinking the vodka and they're having a rollicking good time. And it's costing this Russian oligarch about $100,000 a month just in the insurance or whatever. But thank you. Thanks for giving the crew, the cleaning crew, and everybody else that was on the boat that for whatever reason can't leave or doesn't have anywhere to go. They're drinking up the vodka. Yes. And swimming in the master pool. He had his own pool. All well. I thought that was pretty funny. All right. Let's talk about the counteroffensive. Didn't mean to cough into the microphone. I apologize. They just come and then you don't have time to. So Zelensky was in Hiroshima. Is that right? Is Nagasaki, Hiroshima? Was it in Hiroshima? And they were doing the G7. Thank you, Anonymous, for that donation. And the conversation was about whether or not Bakhmut was being currently occupied by Wagner. Let's show you what it looks like. It's very hard so I went in as some of the generals. It's about 3 main generals, but we don't, excuse me, we don't want to fight in this terrain. This is the generals. You can see here from our perspective, if you step back, we don't want to fight. This is a high casualty rate. They came in from the southeast. This is something we talked about last year, that they were slipping in through a corridor on the southeast side. So what they did was the Ukrainian army was told to pull back. So they pulled back and Wagner came in this way. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to pull Wagner into this area here, which is easier to fight in than this area. And so the soldiers split and they went around this way and they went around this way, forming a lasso similar to what they did last year. And Wagner marched forward, the gang that can't shoot straight, and now they're closed off. Now, if you go to the remotes, there was some communication going on between Wagner POW that had escaped. They had fled. These were prisoners that had no skin in the game. They didn't believe in this. They thought it was a bunch of crap. They stole the ammo, according to Sergei, or whatever his name is, General Sergei. They stole the ammo, and then 24 hours later, it came out that they had actually sold the ammo to the partisans. There are approximately 10,000 Russians who have joined the Ukrainian side as partisans. Some of them are Wagner, but Wagner probably made money selling ammo. So this pissed off Russian military because they were selling ammo to the partisans and in some cases escaping. So their ammo was cut off. Not that Russia has a lot of ammo left. So what they'll do now is that they're going to squeeze this noose. There is a chance they can try and get out. According to the remote, Pagor's, how do you say his name? Prigozhin. He's going to try and flee through the southwest because they're coming in from the northwest, but they've lassoed this side. So he may have a slight chance of getting out through the southwest. So if you look down here at the areas where this lasso is, it's coming down this way. So the only way he probably will not be able to escape through Luhansk because they're entering in through the east side. Maybe Donetsk is also closing, so they may flee closer to the Zaporizhzhia and Kherson area. We may see a lot of fighting because they're being pushed to the southwest based on what I can figure out. All right. Does that give people more clarity about what's going on? That's Zelensky can't talk about it, but if you look at some of the YouTube videos like Warthog, etc., some of the military strategists, they came out yesterday and showed this counteroffensive that they had split, which was funny because the night before that was what I'd seen them do, is they pulled back and the military said, we don't want to fight in this terrain. That we want them to come forward into, it's more grassy, it's more open field, have them. So Putin said, great, you have taken Bakhmut. Yay, you took Bakhmut. Now get the hell out. So they've been told to flee because it was a publicity stunt by Wagner. Does everybody understand that? They were pushed into this area. They were pushed forward. They waved a flag, said, we have taken it. The noose is now tightening. They've got one chance to get out if they head in this direction, and they've been told by Putin to flee. So that's objectively what happened, as I see it as a remote viewer, and also based on what I'm seeing. Any questions about that? Yes, Wagner's correct. That's right, Joel. Warthog defense is very good. So is the stuff that's coming out of DW. Germany starting to cover it. Some good stuff coming out of BBC also, but a lot of it's veiled because they don't want people to know about the counter offensive and how it works. I learned a lot about the military strategy just by being a remote viewer. Obviously, I'm not a general. I'm just a remote viewer, but to see the lasso effect and see that they were encouraged, keep coming forward, and then wave the flag, take a photo shoot. See, we're here. They're in the eye of the storm. Yeah. Okay, so, thank you, La Barbara Dollywall. What a beautiful name, Dollywall. That's pretty. I think we should do the Empath's prayer. Deborah's having potato salad sandwich. I love potato. I love potato salad. The trick with potato salad is do not cook your potatoes al dente. That's terrible. Don't do that. Cook them until they're mushy. Like, let it be a mushy potato salad, almost soppy. And then you want to pour some of the pickle juice into, that's the way the Germans do it, and it's much better. They slice it, put a little pickle juice, dill pickle juice. And then you make everything else. But that dill pickle juice takes it over the edge. That's right. Would you guys like to have a personal reading and a collective personal reading and the Empath's prayer? Yeah? Hi, Yolanda. Hi, Pamela Doss. Anybody planning anything nice to do today? I'm craving potato salad today, but I don't think I was going to pick up fried chicken potato salad and coleslaw and bring it over to Kay's, but I think Kay has something else planned. So I'm like, I'll bring over whatever. I think she just wants me to bring drinks. Maybe I'll bring some fruit. Watermelon, that's healthy, right? Okay. All right, let's do it. Empath's prayer and collective reading for everyone. Let's do it. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to heal those we may have strife with. And together collectively we say, Amen. So this is for the collective, and we ask permission from Spirit to tell us what we need to know at this time. Oh, there was one more thing that Putin wanted me to mention to you guys. Sorry to break the beautiful energy up. The Dnipro River, you see that? He said he wants to take everything to the Dnipro River and create a natural military barrier using the Dnipro natural military barrier. So that would include Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhzhia, and Kherson, as well as Crimea. So that was why he did it that way. Just to let you guys know, everything on the eastern side of the river he wanted to take, just for military reasons. He felt vulnerable. Okay, where you are at right now, as this is the best of times and it's the worst of times. This is the best of times and it's the worst of times. It's the worst of times in the sense that our education system globally in many parts of the world is in trouble. We have not invested what we should in education. It's the best of times in the sense that nations around the world are starting to realize that one of the best financial investments they can make is to educate their citizens. Because if you don't invest first and foremost in educating your citizens, you will fall into the chaos that America finds itself in right now, where you won't be able to understand truth from fiction. You won't be able to understand how data collection works. And you'll be vulnerable to all kinds of things, right? So where we are at right now is the emperor, both privately but also globally. This is a time when cooler heads prevail. The emperor, it teaches us how to step back and look at things objectively. Generals think like this. This is something we teach in HCRV. We teach people how to not be the victims of our emotions. You can sit back and you can observe the emotions in your body doing whatever they're doing, and then calmly take a breath and document them. But you want to gain control over them. And that's really what the emperor teaches us: higher education and objectivity. At the same time, I think many people feel trapped. Things are really hard right now all over the world because there is a depression of wages and everything has become too expensive to live. Healthcare is too expensive. People simply don't have the money for it. You can't do healthcare and pay back your student loans and buy a house and have a family unless you've inherited a ton of money or you've taken out loans to bypass the other loans. It's just simply not a possibility. And so where many of us find ourselves is that we just feel strapped. We feel strapped. We simply don't have the money simply isn't there. So a lot of us just this amazing feeling of, you know what, I can't do the private, I can't do it all. It is no longer a livable country. And at the same time, there is this awareness at this time that of our situation. For that reason, I do feel that many people will leave the United States and make other countries their homes. American expat communities that are propping up in other countries simply because of this problem. We have the Knight of Wands in the first house, and that is to take flight. It's an aggressive card, but it also can be to pack up and move. I mean, it's in the sense that it's a movement card. The Knight of Wands moves. He fights, he moves, he's aggressive. Many of you could move for financial reasons. Many of you could move to start green investments. It's a good economic opportunity to go where the money is. A lot of you are going into green farming. Some of you are friends of mine, people I've spoken with. But this is all about the green economy, green investing, and travel for many of you, possibly Southwest. King of Cups is coming in. Some of you will be the new leadership. Isn't that interesting? We have new vision of what leadership is. Kind of reminds me of Obatala in the African Yoruba tradition. Obatala was the peacekeeper. All we are saying is, the King of Cups. He's the bridge over troubled water who tries to make things easier for people. He's calm. He's peaceful. He uses his head. These are images of cooler heads, being calm, being reasonable, being able to use our minds again. Many of us could be building new communities and new foundations that are going to be sustainable for the citizens. Seven of Wands sits in the third house, which could be to defend and to build new things. It's a lot of entrepreneurship here, a lot of feelings of pioneership here. Six of Cups is to go back and return to what you love. This is one of the fundamental teachings that we share here on this channel, is that the best thing that you can do for the planet is to find out what your dream is and go and live it. The dreams have to, of course, be aligned with the natural order. You can't have a dream that's going to be destructive, right? You don't want a destructive dream. But if it's aligned with Gaia, if it's helping the planet, if it's not harming her, and if it's bringing you joy, and if it's helping you create heaven on earth, then that is what you are obligated to do. We are obligated to pursue our mission on this planet of being unbelievably happy, creating heaven on earth, and then sharing the spoils with everybody else, because it's no fun if you're at the party by yourself. That's basically Six of Cups is go back to what you love. If you wanted to be a ballerina at 5, you can be a ballerina now. Unless you've changed your mind and now you want to be an anthropologist. Maybe you want to be a Dora the Explorer. It's all up to you. Don't be afraid to dream. Queen of Cups sits in the 7th house of dreaming of what can be. What is around you, others in relationship with you. Again, higher education becomes something that's very important in the coming years, both in the United States, but elsewhere as well. It's kind of like the whole entire planet is going through this renaissance. Wow, we'd better start investing in our citizens becoming educated, or we're going to go belly up, because the only way we can fill these jobs is by importing intellectuals from other countries, right? That's America's problem, right? Because our primary education system is not getting kids ready for college. Others in relationship to us right now are in the clouds and confused. There's a lot of confusion right now. People don't know where they're going. Hopes and fears that there will be justice in this world. The final outcome for us is the Ace of Cups. Your life is a gift. Has anyone just taken a moment recently to just realize how grateful we all are? I know I have been unbelievably grateful for so many things. I'm grateful for this community, right? That for the fact that we have our heads on straight. We're not perfect, but we have our heads on straight. We understand why we are here. We are not here to make other people unhappy. We are not here to exploit others. We're not here to manipulate vulnerable people. We're here to share our goodness with the world, right? So Ace of Cups is all about the gift. It's the wedding cup. And yeah, I was grateful. I had so much fun on Saturday, Friday too, just by my lonesome. I didn't have any friends. I was just by myself with my kitty cat. And I did so much fun gardening. Oh my God, you guys, you should see what I'm doing with my garden. And it's all about, because it's my job to create heaven and to be aligned with my function is to assist Gaia in spreading her goodness into infinity, right? So I'm planting as much as I can, even though I have 6x4. I got 1 mango and I'm about to get 3 more mango trees, right? So I'm doing my thing, right? I got to turn the air conditioner on. So what's your thing, right? What's your thing? What you trying to do, right? Are you writing the great novel? Are you just trying to be the best farmer in the world, growing the best peach? What was it? Pears. Somebody sent me a can of their pears that were amazing. So you got to find what your dream is. All right. So that is your message today. We are moving towards intellectualism, the new green economy, but also you're kind of at a point in your life with with the Queen of Cups there. This is a time of dreaming. Dream big. Dream big. Give yourself permission, not just permission to be happy and to pursue your dreams, but understand that that is precisely why you are here, that you have a moral obligation to do this, and that you are not helping others by suffering and being anybody's doormat, right? That it isn't good for them and it isn't good for you. It's against the natural order, if you think about it from a spiritual perspective. L'chaim, l'chaim. Okay, so I think we're going to get the order and blitz, blitz, blitz away. I will try and get through as many questions as possible. So do you guys like the blonde streaks, or do you want me to get rid of them? I want opinions. Or do you want more of them? Less, more, the same with the blonde streaks. It's up to you. I'm just having fun. Oh, I got the order to blitz, blitz, blitz away. Somebody asked, why must they give you the order? We're just having fun. We're just being silly. Like the blonde or more, you mean? You want more? You want more blonde? A little more blonde. So you guys are thinking, go with the blonde. A couple, I like the blonde, but I don't know. You guys voted. All right, I'll add a little more blonde. Well, it's all going blonde. This is really gray. And so since it was gray already, he put a little bit of blonde in it. But it's gray. It's just for fun. It's what you do when it goes gray. He's got that fancy schmancy natural stuff. I go with the naturals. The natural. I got a good hairdresser. All right, let's see. So I'm sorry I don't see questions. All right, let me go back here. Oh, I am seeing questions. Okay. New York Times reports that 30 tons of explosives went missing off a train here in the United States. When was that? Holy moly, guacamole. Let's see what happened. Let's see if we can find out. 30 tons of explosives missing. Why would 30 tons of explosives be on a train in the first place? That's a fun question, though. Like, boy, we don't get those types of questions very often. Where did the explosives go? Is this part of those? There have been a series of thefts. People that have been stealing packages and stuff. It's a huge. There's a lot of crime on the trains, right? They're gonna look if you are a criminal and you're stealing stuff. You might not necessarily. You might have fallen on 30 tons of explosives almost accidentally, like it falls within your reach and it wasn't initially what you were going for. You might have been going for something else like money or packages that you can sell or things of this nature. There's patience and a 4 of Cups over the investigation. They're cooked toast, Death, and 3 of Swords. So whoever it was, probably they attempted to sell or they got freaked out, the initial people that stole it, and then instead they will contact the feds because you have the world coming in, then you have powers coming in, but you also have the 2 of Cups, which is an offer, and then the Knight of Wands comes in. So I think what happened is that people were stealing all kinds of things, and then when they got something like that, it's a very scary thing. Like, what the heck do we do with it? Well, we could try and sell it to terrorism. You know what? This is beyond my pay grade as a criminal. I'm calling the feds. It becomes something like that. What a crazy situation. Okay, so let's keep going. That's a wild story, isn't it? Ooh, Gamma Ray is having barbecue ribs, potato salad, pineapple upside down. Oh my God, where are you? Okay, this was the question I had. I was like, last night, I was thinking, what should I ask you folks? Like fantasies, because sometimes when I'm doing my remote viewings and my nightly meditations, I have thoughts about like, what would I ask the group? And this was the question I asked. Okay, here's the question. If calories and health were not a factor, you're going to be fine physically, and there's no environmental impact, there are no consequences. Like, if you love animals, I get it. You don't want to eat animals, but you love the taste of barbecue. Okay. Let's imagine in this magical world that there will be no consequences. What are you going to eat? You can have anything you want and there will be no consequences. Like, it'll be magical baby back ribs because it won't really hurt it won't really hurt any animals. Like, and you won't gain a single ounce. What would your diet really look like? All right, let's keep it. It's kosher. Yes, it's kosher. I would start maybe with some baby back ribs. Yes, I would. But they got to be made right. You want them coming right off the bone. And no pork, go for it. I mean, because if there were no consequences, right? If it was baby back, go for it. And potato salad for sure, coleslaw, but I don't like if it's got too much mayonnaise. While we're at it, while we're on the Southern theme, peach cobbler, anybody with a little bit of homemade vanilla ice cream? Yes. Oh my God. What we order when we go to restaurants is we order the poached salmon because we're supposed to. But that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking what you would really have if you could get away with it. Cornbread, macaroni and cheese, uh, anything Mexican. Any Mexican food is fine with me. Oh, yes, Krispy Kreme donuts. Thank you. The chocolate covered donuts. Um, Peach cobbler, chimichanga. Oh yeah. Just you're in heaven. You can have whatever you want. Cheetos. Yes. Love Cheetos. with Coca-Cola is good. You got to swing down a little bit of Coca-Cola. Also, nacho cheese flavored Doritos, Krispy Kreme, love it. Candied yams, marshmallows, great idea. Tamales, yes, with pork. None of this chicken, lean. No, it's okay. Triple chocolate fudge cake. I'm liking this. Japanese tempura. Okay, so here's what we got. We just got to like not eat for 3 days. And yeah, Doritos and Coke. Loads of bourbon. Okay. Cheesecake. Hello. Oh my gosh, you folks know how to eat good food. All right. Yoga Life has a question. Will the Republican YouTube Cuban American influencer running for mayor in Miami-Dade be successful in 2024? I don't know his name, but let's take a look. He's a Cuban American influencer and he's running for mayor in Miami-Dade. Who will be the mayor of Miami-Dade? We'll ask it that way. Oh my God. Elizabeth Conklin, ribs and creamy coleslaw, fried chicken and mashed potatoes. I love fried chicken. Who here likes really well done fried chicken? Like it's got to be no consequences, no judgments. Ice cream. How about an ice cream sundae that you build yourself? Does that work for you? Whipped cream, nuts, go for it. If you're asking spirit what spirit wants, what would be help balance the energy? It would be more people in the LGBTQ community running for local offices because of it's very dangerous there right now. But you have a big presence in the LGBTQ community, possibly people in the LGBTQ people winning under the Democratic ticket. There's a lot of soberness happening in Miami. This is a feeling of sobriety, and we're getting what we deserve. And I feel my skin itching. Like I feel when I go into Miami-Dade that all the microbes on the decomposing seaweed is starting not only to cause a smell, but it's causing microbes and things and parasites that are going to mess with the ecosystem. There is sobriety and also karma over Miami. The fun and games, and we can do whatever we want because mommy can't stop us. Little kids shoot, shoot, bang, bang, candy all over my face, dump trash in the in the ocean and anywhere, no consequences. We can see that the karmic consequences are there and they're there now. So what they're saying is basically that there is a wake-up call coming for local politics in Florida. And that all of this immaturity and corruption and boys will be boys and people doing whatever the heck they want, the silliness is about to come to an end. I use the Ten of Cups as a rainbow pride card because it has the rainbow colors in it. And I often will see this card when I'm thinking about issues like LGBTQ rights, etc. It's associated with the Eight of Swords, which can be a subjugation card. So you have a large segment of Miami being, the entertaining community, the political community, etc. It has a heavy influence, artistic, creative, etc., coming from the LGBTQ community. But you have this real need for both advocates and people in the LGBTQ community to become as politically active as possible at this time because things are so crazy. The hopes and fears at this time: sanity, which is the emperor, sane, reason. They need sanity and reason in Miami, in Florida. And then also a fear of certain things coming out. So we have both a fear of the intellectual situation in Miami, but also a fear of certain types of corruption coming out, which precisely it will. Because the final outcome here is mastery and truth. Archangel Michael usually comes with a sword of truth, so there can be police action around this card. But we also have an Eight of Pentacles, which can be an investigation card, somebody digging to get to the truth. It's a mastery card, pounding away at mastery. I feel like the direction of Miami politics, it has to go back to what it originally was, which was a tolerant community, a diverse and tolerant community with a strong LGBTQ pride community. I think, particularly with Disney being there, people are fed up. Floridians are getting fed up, and I think we're going to see a lot of backlash, and that's a good thing. So more than likely, that will determine who. It'll be probably a Democrat, and that influence seems to be waning, that old Republican influence. But I also see legal action. I also see legal action against Ron DeSantis. There's some kind of federal. He's run afoul of the feds for a number of reasons. First off, you can't just grab people who've legally immigrated and throw them wherever. I mean, he's really pissing off the feds. It's only a matter of time before his goose is cooked. I don't see a future for him. Lisa is having custard and flan. Elsie is having turkey, pizza, Cheetos, chocolate, and eclairs, or those are her favorites. I think that might be that those are her favorites. Mac and cheese, hello. Oh, Jennifer Miller says that peach cobbler with a homemade vanilla ice cream is her specialty. So we will be having July 4th at Jennifer Miller's house. I'm just kidding. Okay, here's a nice fantasy meal. Your last meal. We don't want to call it your last meal though, because I that's kind of Debbie Downer. No, your ideal meal if there were no consequences. Deep dish Chicago pizza, says Debbie Fatal. Okay. With cheese, tomato, and garlic. Yummy. Simple but good. Annika Loeffling, French pastries. Yes. Yes. Darnisnes, her fantasy, hers are they, wants ice cream, pecan pie, and apple fritters. I love apple fritters. Oh my God, I love apple fritters. Candied yams, marshmallows. Oh my God, you guys are getting me hungry. Eclairs. Woo! Yes, Catherine Nicholson. All right, let's see if we got some more political questions. It's a fun day today. I'm having fun. I don't know about the rest of you. They're like, we don't know. We're just drinking, Whimsy. Whatever you do is fine with us. Okay. Fate of American journalist Evan Gershowitz arrested in Russia. I think we already did a thing on this, and he's going to be part of a prisoner exchange. But let's take a look. Okay, what is his fate? He has been able to speak with he has been able to speak to the Americans. There's some kind of American representation here because he's been told to be patient, which is the same thing that happened with Brittany Griner when we went in. But this is an exchange. When will he see? Putin doesn't have any more weapons. That's why Putin wants to. They took their photo shoot and then they are now being told to flee Bakhmut because of the lasso thing that's happening. It feels to me like Putin doesn't really have a lot to negotiate. But probably, I think he can get out of there within 6 months. We have some patience in negotiating logic and reason over him. These are his cards. I would say Russia's pretty pissed. You know, Knight of Swords is an anger card. Justice, Page of Swords is over them. Looks like Biden's going to be able to negotiate him getting out within 6 months. You can see Biden 6 months. Patience. Be patient. Biden gets him out in 6 months. Healthy guy. Yeah, about 6 months. Okay. Dianne Feinstein. Any feelings about Dianne Feinstein here? Any justifications for why she should stay? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's take a look. I have to switch cards because they're repeating on me. What do you guys want me to use? I have every deck, literally. Let's use Mother Peace. I want us to start using more types of decks. What do you think? Because I've got 100 decks, and you guys haven't seen them because I get lazy. It's like, you can't be that way, Whimsy. You got to share with us all your decks. Tarot's Apprentice does that, right? He makes sure to show you all of his decks. See, I buy them, and then I don't share them. Selfish woman. She's a selfish woman. Got to share those cards. No, I'll do more. I'll try and share them more often. All right, let's see. Dianne Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein, how's she doing? She does have dementia, and her family is trying to help her. I don't think she will be coming back to the Senate. The problem is that sometimes when you get these kinds of mental deficits, you don't realize how bad it is. Her first house is the Five of Cups, and the Five of Cups is that's two cups remain, but three have fallen. This can be somebody who's experienced some grief, but they feel like something remains. So she may feel that she has unfinished business. Maybe she's concerned that if she steps down, that the Republicans won't honor the switch. But who knows? But she's in a state of grieving. Others in relationship, or her perception is as a crone, right? So she's got the crone. Feinstein, crone, seen as the crone. And then does she have a son who is taking care of her? Because she has the son near her. The final outcome for her is Seven of Cups, which is to be, out to lunch, right? The Seven of Cups can be in the clouds. It's the person who's all over the place. So she's not going to get better with those types of cards. Yeah, she doesn't. She's definitely trying to defend her position. She's not going to get better. I mean, I don't know what we can do politically, but this is not looking too good. Let me show you. First off, a lot of grief, but then she also gets the Eight of Swords, which is the person who's like jailed or trapped. So that would not bode well for her, for how she, her ability to physically move, etc. Her opposition has an Ace of Swords over the crone. So she's not going to be able to keep this up. Her hope and her fear, death. And there's a sun here. So I think oh, the Republicans will not accept it. Feinstein has a daughter. I know that Pelosi has a daughter. But what about Feinstein? Um, anyway, it looks like somebody, son can be a child or the sun coming out, but there's something about assistance from somebody. That problem here is that her outcome is a Nine of Wands, which is to be further trapped or contained and defensive over a Seven of Cups, which is why I don't think that Feinstein's going to get better. Yeah. So it just becomes, it looks to me like it's becoming increasingly tense, particularly with those types of cards. And it's going to be very, very hard for her to leave. Yeah. Well, I don't know what kind of power the Republicans have, but those cards look like there's no solution anytime soon, and her health does not improve. We're going to switch to the Robin Wood. Term limits, yeah, probably. Though there are mixed feelings about that, Ooh, Southern pecan pie. I like it, Diane. Sometimes it's made a little too sweet for me, but I do like it. If she's voting and she's voting our way, and if she can't leave because the Republicans would block it or have the capacity to do that, I don't know if they do, but it seems to me like it would be the decision of whatever the rules are for the state of California, since she's our senator. So I don't know how Republicans why they would be involved. Usually if someone's sick, somebody comes in and steps in to finish their seat. So I'm a little concerned about how they could, whether or not, I don't know. I just don't get how they would be able to block that, since did they block it when was it John McCain's widow that finished his term? I mean, it's what you do when someone can't complete it. All right. Where are Americans migrating to? A lot of the time it will come up as a Knight of Wands. I know that there are a lot of really great retirement communities in Mexico. There's a really great one opening up, quite a few in Ecuador. My sister's in Ecuador right now, actually on vacation. There are some really great ones in Nicaragua that have, believe it or not. Costa Rica has some. Depends on what your budget is. Then there are people that are just moving back to Europe. Europe has some great golden visa opportunities. I can get a 2-year visa if I want to live in Norway. with an opportunity to extend. I was looking at visas for teleworkers. Norway has a great deal. So it's just not feasible for me as someone who is going to be retiring in another 10 years to do it in the United States. My rent goes up $100 every year. That's all well and good. But if my income isn't going up in another 5, 10 years, that's another $500 or $1,000. Eventually, you're going to get priced out of even a rent controlled apartment. So it's just the way it is, you know. But let's look at future migration patterns of Americans. Knight of Wands, Southwest. Go Southwest. You know, if you go south, what you don't have to buy. People think that they move, they have to buy property. No, you don't. Just rent an apartment. You can get a decent apartment in Mexico City for $500 a month, 1 bedroom. So if you can show an income of $1,000 a month, you retiree, you can move there. You get a golden visa for like what? But they say realistically, it's more like $2,000 a month. But you can see migration moving to the sun, hopes and fears, the tower in the United States. People feel trapped. I mean, good health insurance in Mexico runs you about 100, 125 a month. Rent in a nice apartment in a small town on the coast will run you 400 or 500 a month. So you can live pretty comfortably for 1,500, 2,000 a month. Yeah. This year is showing a lot of immigration for people. It's a 1 year period. Interesting. A lot of people confused. Check it, Google it. There's a lot of really great. Again, it's based on your budget. How much? A lot of people haven't saved any for retirement. But if you have a house, you can sell even better. Then you sell your house for sell the American house. Other people have done Airbnb where they've bought a condo in Europe and then they Airbnb one of the rooms. There's a lot of options. But knowing my personality, I never buy anything. I'm too nomadic. I would be more likely to rent a room with a family for like very little money, keep things simple. The ideal situation for me would be like a guest house because I would have all my equipment and be able to do my YouTube, stay there like 2 years, then get bored, pack up and move somewhere else. That's my personality. My family complains about it. But what can you do? I'm a Rolling Stone. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene and the MAGA indictments. Has anybody been watching these? Anybody been watching these at all? All these people in trouble. When are they going to start indicting Congress? Let's take a look. Spirit, what is Mississippi pie? I thought Mississippi pie was a joke. Isn't Mississippi pie like a poo pie? Did I got that wrong? Okay, Marjorie Taylor Greene and MAGA. Foolish behavior. She was talking too much. Her mouth got her in trouble, Joel. Tooting her horn too much, the fool. Tooting foolishly. The world moves on from her. 3 of Wands with her opposition. She's terrified of this investigation. King of Wands. That's like the Mueller, the investigation of the Mueller. Look at this. She's in a state of the seven of rods. This is defending her territory. That's pretty interesting. So she does have to defend herself. It's so hard for me to understand somebody whose world could be so strong, so small, because my nature is to travel so much. Oh, hi, 1111. Thank you for being here. Um, Something about her partnerships. Her partnerships are under investigation. So yeah, Joel. It looks like some kind of liaison or partnership. Two of Wands is partnership, global relationship under investigation. A theft, Seven of Swords, overseas. I don't think she even has the intelligence to realize that she's part of a greater investigation. Hopes and fears, the King of Wands, and then also heartbreak. For her, she sees her world becoming smaller. That's the best way to describe how it feels to me looking at these cards, is that MAGA, and it's like the lasso effect, where this is what happened the last couple of days, where we had the Russians, they were allowed to walk into Bakhmut because too many casualties. So come forward, they lassoed them, and then they squeeze them, right? So that's kind of, in a sense, what the feds have done to MAGA. They've lassoed them and they've squeezed their witnesses. Lasso, squeeze, lasso, squeeze. And so you have this kind of heartbreak, fear, and this feeling like MAGA is being squeezed into extinction. How it could have gotten this bad, that they could have nearly burned our Capitol down, uh, that is, that's something, and that we could have, that this could have happened so quickly. I think is going to be interesting to see how they deal with that. But Seven of Wands is to defend her position, and then Page of Cups is a healing. It could be an offer. So she may be able to avoid prison because she's just not important enough in the grand scheme of things. I don't even know if she totally understands the partnerships she's involved in. All right, this question's coming from Kathy Reagans. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you here. Kathy Reagans wants to know when Ron DeSantis is going to be removed. Okay, let's take a look. I feel like Ron DeSantis is just really, they say he's down 35 points or so. I mean, like, people are starting to really hate this guy. He's having temper tantrums with Disney characters. I mean, see a psychiatrist. That's pretty weird. I mean, don't you think that's weird? I mean, you guys could have a female governor. Who's a female thinking of running? What the mistake that he made is that 14-year-olds grew up and now they're 18-year-olds, and they lived through the park shootings and all the other shootings, and they remember what happened, and they're voting and attacking the LGBTQ community. There's a lot more people in the LGBTQ community out of Florida that are going to be running. So he starts to look like a crazy old man talking to himself. He presents as the Queen of Cups. She rubs her lamp. She dreams, but it's associated also with Page of Cups, which is a healing or need for healing. So this person is not perceived of as all. He's kind of perceived as kind of like a stupid, dumb country bumpkin to the other. The other in relationship with him, Nine of Pentacles, creating a financial legacy, or not a legacy, financial stability, Nine of Pentacles, but also a Three of Pentacles, which is establishing residence, architecture. So while he's off dreaming, the other is creating a foundation and financial stability. What's interesting also here is that he tries to backtrack because he sees his own numbers. He's got a two of cups in his hopes and fears around DeSantis, which would indicate that he's now trying to play nice with the other side, but a tower awaits him. I don't see a future for him. Final outcome for him, Hermit, he's left isolated and replaced by the Queen of Swords. So he just starts to look silly after a while. He starts to look silly, and he just slowly falls out of favor. And it looks like some cool, hip person, possibly a female, goes in and wins. So it's interesting, he was kind of like a flash in the pan. He was part of, he wants to present himself as MAGA 2.0, but there isn't going to be a MAGA 2.0 if the feds have their way, because they're squeezing out a lot of the media that promoted it. I mean, it goes back to Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch is really a psychopath. I mean, he's mad at Harry and Meghan, right? Because Harry's suing him. And he also blamed Murdoch for his mother's death. So now the revenge is that he begins to terrorize the next generation. He's a psychopath, right? So you have people in the media who are psychopaths, but you also have, there are rules. You can't do certain things. And so I think this is one of those situations where the feds are going to win. And when they do win, I don't know if the type of politics that they're promoting can survive. All right. So RFK Jr., I don't know if you all know this, is running for president, I believe. Is that right? Yes. Let's see how he does. And just to remind everyone, if you're having fun with today's Blitzes, we are raising money for charity, and our charity is the World Wildlife Fund. So if you have a couple shekels you can throw their way, I'm sure they would be very appreciative. Thank you. I don't see him winning, but I do think he will continue to do lobbying. He seems to be some kind of a green lobbyist. He doesn't support the vaccines. I've been public that I don't agree with his stance, but that's his stance. He presents as fluting, similar to MTG. Page of Swords, the truth, right? Shouting what he believes to be his truth. The world and temperance. So there's a concern here that he may not be, where the world is at and where he is at are not the same place. There's this dichotomy that hopes and fears, the King of Pentacles and the Empress. Interesting. He kind of presents as kind of almost like a similar kind of fears to Harry. Maybe he has a fear of assassination or something. There's a lot of fear I see in these cards. His final outcome is the Sun and Justice, which is actually pretty auspicious. So he will have a just end and the sun will come out. Hopes and fears, the Empress is odd. It could be his fear for the planet because the Empress is Gaia, his concern for how business is impacting the planet because it's the businessman associated with the planet. Could be eco concerns. I don't see him winning the presidency. I do see him being given an opportunity to do more activism. Okay. Let us see. Are we done? What do y'all think? He wanted to outlaw immunization. Well, that's just not real. So I've had so many vaccines. I've been tripled, quadrupled. Anywhere you can shove a vaccine, give it to me. And I'm fine. I travel a lot, so I get a lot of vaccines. Nobody's left in the family to tell him to stop his BS. Well, yeah, maybe. I think his heart's in the right place. He's trying to save the planet and being concerned about corporate greed. Those are honorable things to fight against. Military kids, yeah. But I grew up in the '60s and '70s. Every 5 minutes they were shooting us in the ass with something. We're like, okay. We were fine. All right. Love and light to you all. I'm going to take off. I'm going to go have lunch with my bestie, go play some music. Is there anything else I need to say? Yes, I wanted to give gratitude to everybody who became a member of the channel. My whole world is surrounded with electronics, thanks to you folks. Much appreciated. If you are trying to get in for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. And I can offer you a phone reading. If you want a quick 5-minute Wizio, I usually can get those back in about 5 to 7 days. I will be getting some more Wizios out tonight. Anything else? Oh, you need to see me as a doctor. That information is also below. Thank you to Debbie Brady, your dreams coach, for helping host today's show. Also, Delilah Gillis, Joyce Pietras, Joel Tilson, Melody Harmon also helping to host today. Is there anything that also K Travel Tarot? Did I forget anybody? If I did, I'm apologize. Well, it's been a fun, a most happy time. A good time was had by all. Thank you, everyone who has donated to our charity. I'm sure the polar bears appreciate you. I'm sure the grizzly bears appreciate you even more. And anything else I need to announce? Today is Sunday. Right. So we will be back Tuesday. Is it 5 p.m. on Tuesdays? Remind me. Yes, 5 p.m. on Tuesdays. We've started a new Tuesday show, Taco Tuesdays time. I don't know what you guys named it, something or other. So I guess we'll be here. I don't know. We'll be back on Tuesday. If you would like to be a member and join our members group, we get together on Saturdays for our private salon. The time is noon. If you guys want to change the time and you're members, if you'd like me to come on earlier or later on Saturday and you are a member, let me know what time works for you. But so far, we've been having the salon at noon Pacific Standard Time. That would be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If that's too late and you're thinking, Whimsy, you're kind of blowing my Saturdays, can we come in a little earlier? I can come in as early as 10 a.m. on Saturdays, which would fall closer to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. Just let me know, because I know some people are saying they want to change up the time. I don't care. It's fine. I get that some people want to get out on Saturday a little earlier. So just let me know when you guys want to have a Saturday get together. And then on Wednesdays, we teach HCRV. We teach it. It's $9.99 if you join at the Healers and Empaths level. And we get together on Wednesdays, at 6 p.m. for that Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Though I could be coming in earlier on that as well, if that's a problem. I think I'm out of here. I think that's it. All right. I'll see you guys later. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day.